if you follow me as an individual, because I do have my own channel and I like to plug it as much as humanly possible, I've just released a video on the tool search tool in Claude Code. Now, if you don't know what the tool search tool is, it's a way of handling MCPs. MCPs take up a lot of context. To have them running all the time. And the disadvantage of this is that you need to shut them on, you need to shut them off. Like, if you don't need to use the GitHub MCP, shut it off because it's taking up your precious context inside of Claude Code. Tool search just takes the description, a well-written description of the MCP, and it just cares about that. And then it will dynamically load or lazy load, as they call it, the MCP when it needs it. And you'll see from this screenshot here, I don't know if you recognize this if you're a user of Claude Code, but there was always this MCP line and it's always blue and taking up loads of context. And you can see that Tarek's MCP layer is completely empty. You don't need to do anything to have this work. It's literally just update Claude and it will just work, and it will just remove the all of the MCP context. It works in the Claude desktop app, which is really good. Handy, because a lot more, and we'll get into co-work as well now, a lot of people are using the Claude desktop app. But what this means is, and it was something we spoke about last week when we went through Boris's use of Claude Code, he does everything from Claude Code. Let me know, we've spoken about MCPs so much, but I'm really curious to know where people's knowledge gaps lie and what MCPs do. But it's a way to interact with applications and, online services like Notion or whatever you're using, Slack. It's a way to interact with them all within your AI. And you write natural language rather than saying interacting with that API, rather than send the name, last name, email address, as like a JSON structure. You just write it on plain English, and it will send it off, get the data, and present it back to you in plain English. None of this coding nonsense that you typically have to deal with when working with traditional APIs. MCPs answer that question. Now, because of this, on the one hand, we can use tools like Taskmaster to help us code as we write code. It could be documentation. I use one called Ref. It's an MCP that helps extract up-to-date documentation for newer technologies. So we can use it to help us write code, but we can also use it just to, again, update a Notion database. Let's say we've got a new, we do everything in Notion for the podcast. Instead of going on to Notion or opening up the app, just do it all within Claude Code, because I'm sat there, MCP is running.
Want to try it.
It's no longer taking up context, so I can just leave it running. I normally really just, and then you load up Claude Code, and then you realize everything's like compacting really quickly. And then I shoot up MCP, and it's like, because all the MCPs are now turned on again, even though I turned them all off. So it's really frustrating to manage your MCPs like that. Now I can just leave them all running. Now I can push to GitHub. Now I can chat with Notion. The Notion MCP is actually really well featured. You can get users. You can update pages. You can update databases. You can add to, it's a really well featured MCP. So I'd definitely try it. Whilst you're there coding, little side quest, add a thing to our little page that we've got for our news articles. Jobs are good, and you know what I mean?
Could I do that from my phone?
Yeah, if there's something that runs MCPs on your phone, absolutely. Just you need an MCP client. I'm hoping that is that a good explanation, because it is complicated. I understand it's complicated, and I've got a video coming out next week specifically on MCPs. But I would like for people to feel like that they understand MCPs, the reason why it's important. Again, in my video next week, I'm going to show you what a traditional, if I was going to update a database on Notion with code, like what that would look like if you're going to write code. Now, I don't need to write any code. I can just literally say, and the AI will just figure out everything out in between. It's beautiful.
I understand the idea, but I didn't have like a proper use case until this week. We launched a website for a client, and the images are not exactly how I want them. Like, So I don't want to go to the CMS and download everything and re-upload and so on. I want to use the Webflow MCP to download all the images. I haven't done this yet, but that's the plan, to download all the images, change them all to what I want, basically the dimensions and a few things like that. I don't know if I could edit them. Could I like edit them, bulk edit them?
Depends what the MCP Webflow MCP allows you to do. So
no,
maybe
like with something else. That's what I mean. Like download them.
Okay.
Put them on my Dropbox or whatever, and then use another MCP to edit them, and then re-upload them to Webflow.
Potentially, I just would not know what MCP you could run. You could the Figma MCP reads from your Figma, but I don't think it writes to your Figma. So there might be one thing you can do. But what I would do is download them to my local machine. Because I use Warp, which is my AI terminal, I have ImageMagick downloaded on my computer. So I'll just ask the AI terminal to say, look at this folder, change, do this to the image. Because mostly everything's run by ImageMagick. FFmpeg and ImageMagick literally run pretty much every image editing tool or whatever you've ever seen. But yeah, you'll have to look around to see if there are any image editing. What do you want to do to the images as an example?
Change the dimensions. And maybe if I could, would be cool to boost the contrast. You know how Apple has this auto edit mode where it just adds a bit of contrast, a bit of color automatically. That would be nice.
Yeah, so I would again download them to my local machine, and I would then go into Warp and say go in this folder and boost the contrast and change the dimensions to 16:9 or 9:16 or something like that. And I think ImageMagick is so good that it probably has some sort of face detection. Let's say they're all profile pictures, and it probably has some sort of face detection, or at least a face detection plugin, and then just let my AI terminal do it, sort of thing. But I don't know whether there are any image editing MCPs that you can throw an image to and whatever.
Are you using Warp, the free version, or the paid one?
I'm paying for it, but I'd be interested to know what the free version gets you. If you do think about it, let me know, because I am on fire with my referrals for Warp, because I think everyone who sees me use it, just like, that's amazing. In fact, I'm going to give you a.
Send me the referral. Send it in the chat as well.
I'll send the chat, because it is honestly really great, because it's just, especially as you start to download FFmpeg, which is video editing or whatever, ImageMagick, which is image editing. If you're accessing servers as well, if I'm having trouble with a server, like I'll just say, log into the server and figure out. I've had a lot of problems with Docker images, so many Docker images running and taking up loads of memory. I just say, find out where we can save memory on this server, and it will literally just do everything. It's great to have. It's great to have an AI terminal. It's like I would describe it, and we'll get into co-work again. I've said that a couple of times, but we'll get into co-work. I've put it up on the thing. Cool. It's basically what Apple Intelligence should be. It just turns your Mac into an AI Mac. It's great. This is part of a larger conversation on my show, Command AI, which we stream live every single week. We discuss the news and all things related to AI in the world of design and web. Catch us next week and join in the banter.